Hi, I'm Dr. Emily Chan from Modern Integrative Medicine, and today I'm going to share with you about some tips to ward off the cold and flu when you feel it coming on so that you don't actually have to get sick. So isn't that great? Now, one thing I really need you to remember is that it's very important to recognize the early signs of illness, because if you wait till you're having too many symptoms, it's likely that you are actually sick and you'll have to just run the course. So the trick is to really catch it before and stop it before the viruses get out of control. So what happens is that you may pick up a virus and that virus will start to multiply in your body. Your immune system will try its best to fight that off. But if the immune system is not able to fight it off, the virus numbers exceed what your immune system can fight at the time, then you will actually get sick. So being able to support your body during what we call that incubation phase, which is usually 24 to 48 hours before you actually do get the illness from the time of the exposure, is really helpful. Now, I would like you to also recognize some of the symptoms. Sometimes we don't really know that we're coming down with something, and then bam, all of a sudden you're full-blown sick. So a lot of times with most people, they do recognize that something starts to not go so right, and they can be as subtle as just feeling a little bit more tired, maybe a little bit more moody, not yourself, maybe a slight tickle in your throat, maybe a little bit of a change in your bowel habits, some things that are just really subtle. They can be indicators, and you have to recognize for your body how that tends to work, or warning signs that you're fighting something. So during that time, there are some remedies that you can take to support yourself. So today I'll talk about 3 common homeopathic remedies that are helpful for the cold and flu. The first remedy I'm going to talk about is Gelsemium. So here's Gelsemium. In fact, all the other remedies look similar to these blue vials. They're just little sugar pills and really easy to take. Kids like them a lot as well. So Gelsemium number 1 is keynoted by the fact of feeling almost like you're run over by a truck. So extreme fatigue, almost as if you don't want to get out of bed, feeling very heavy, maybe body aches and pains. Sometimes the illness is precipitated by some types of fears or worries that tend to be contributing to the illness. So Gelsemium is typical to kind of that flu-like symptom feeling. So if you start to feel something like that coming on, that would be a great remedy to use. Again, with homeopathics, you do want to match your symptoms to the correct remedy. That's how they work. So the second remedy I want to talk to you about today is called Ferrum phosphoricum. So if you need Ferrum phosphoricum, generally you'll have vague symptoms. So not a lot of keynote. Sometimes people will have very specific symptoms, say I have a stabbing headache right here, or I have a bending over bellyache, or my throat is just stinging painful. If you have that, then it's not Ferrum phosphoricum, because if you need ferrum, your symptoms are just very vague. So you just don't feel very well. Vague, it's usually the beginning of a cold or flu that you would take that, and oftentimes if you take it soon enough, you'll not get sick. Now the third remedy is called nux vomica. And if you need nux vomica, generally you'll have symptoms of feeling like you're hungover. So you may not have been drinking, but it's that sensation that you feel kind of very blah, yucky, kind of feeling gross, maybe some nausea or just low appetite, gastrointestinal symptoms, oftentimes brought on by stress as well with nux vomica. So choose between these 3, see if any of those keynotes fit your situation when you're coming down with something. And what you would do is you would take 3 of these pellets and let them melt under your tongue. And you do that about 3 times a day until you're really sure that your symptoms go away. One more thing also that you can do is to take vitamin C every single hour that you're awake. So you can take 500 to 1,000 milligrams every hour that you're awake, and that gives your immune system an extra boost. Just a note of caution there, if you take too much, sometimes people will have looser stools. So if you ended up going to about, say, 11,000 milligrams and you start to have looser stools, then you know for your body maybe you couldn't tolerate that much. You went back down to 9,000 milligrams. So these tips have been very successful for a lot of my patients, and they've been just so happy that they could fight off something and not take a week of being sick. So I hope that you enjoy that and that that's really helpful for you. Please share this video with your friends and have a lovely day. Thanks for watching.